good evening, depending on what time you are watching this broadcast. Welcome to the S.I.M Factor, and I am Tanja E. Withers, your host. And today's episode, self-analysis. I can't find a better way to start this journey that you and I are about to embark, but to take a real good look at yourselves. And I could say, and I could testify, that by doing this stage, this process, I guarantee you that it's going to open your eyes to a lot of different things about you, things you probably didn't know about yourself, and most importantly, if you're willing to go through the journey, no matter how rough it is, I can assure you that doing a self-analysis will be the best thing that has ever happened to you. So basically, according to Romans 12, verse 2, it clearly states, "Be not conformed to this world, but to be transformed by the renewing of your mind, that ye may prove what is good and acceptable and perfect will of God." That is the process that we should go on. We cannot go into this new realm that we're on, whether you have been just saved or you've been saved for 20 years. It's still a journey that God has us on. And we really need to take a good look at ourselves, especially as single Christians, before we could even recognize if we are truly ready for that spouse that we so desire. And it doesn't matter whether you haven't been married as of yet, you have been married once before and divorced, or that your mate has passed on. It's still the same process. It's just for different people at different stages, it's different ways, but the concept is still the same. We still have to analyze who we are as individuals. And most importantly, we have to really discover who God says we are. Because for so long, we have been engulfed, if you will, to what people say who we are. And I don't know about you, but I have noticed that before I got saved and looking back on my life and what I was, I've spent most of my life pleasing people. So now I am at the stage where I am solely about pleasing God. And people's opinions really doesn't matter. And that only came from me doing a self-analysis. I'll share a testimony. Going through this journey, I had to really stop where I was and look back. Because the question that I posed to God was, why do I find myself being attracted to the same type of guys? And why do guys of that caliber, meaning those who will only stick around for a minute and then bounce, why do these types of guys keep coming to me? And why do I keep attracting those same type of men? I really had to take a good look at myself. And I discovered, number one, it took years to do this analysis. It wasn't an overnight thing. It took years. But the breakthrough finally came when I realized, looking back, and I really had to look back, but I didn't stay there. I discovered that the reason why I was so attracted to guys who wasn't going to be around for a while is because I had abandonment issues stemming from my father leaving me when I was a toddler. And I'll even go as far as saying from a couple of family members who molested me when I was a child. I was attracted to those same type of guys. And when that light bulb finally struck, I said, no, God, you have to help me and let me do this right. So I will not attract the same type of men anymore, but to attract the very one that you says that you have ordained just for me. Like I said, that process took years. It was not an overnight thing. But I'm making the suggestion for everyone that's watching, do the self-analysis, and I promise you, when you really take a good long look from where you used to be and you see where you are now, how far you really came, and or how far you've really come, and that there's so much more to you than what you used to be, it will be the most freeing and the most powerful thing that you have ever gone through since the moment you gave your life to Christ. In 2 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 5, it says, examine yourselves, whether ye be in faith, prove your own selves. Know ye not your own selves how that Jesus Christ is in you, except ye be reprobates, hard word. I like the New Living Translation better because I think it's so plain. And it says, examine yourself to see your faith, if your faith is really genuine. Test yourself. If you cannot tell Jesus Christ is among you, it means you have failed the test. Light bulb. So I'm asking that if you really want that spouse, that potential spouse that you're desiring to have, or you really looking for that partner that will help you in the things of God, you really need to analyze who you are. And most importantly, who God says you are. You know, the Bible also says in Psalms 139, verse 14, that you are fearfully and wonderfully made. That's powerful right there. So when you finally do the analysis, you will actually see who you are, and you will learn to love yourself more and respect yourself more, to a point that you refuse to settle for anything less than what you are worth. But you can really get to that place. The only way that you can get to that place is when you take a very long look at yourself and ask the Lord to help you go along this journey. And when you do so, I suggest 1 Peter chapter 5, verse 8. Be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about, seeking whom he may devour. Because the enemy doesn't want you to go on this journey. Hear me. He wants you to stay exactly where you are. This is why it's so imperative to do the self-analysis and realize that there is so much more to you than what you even think, because of who God says you are. You are the apple of his eye. You were made in his image. So wouldn't you find it important to just take a long look at yourself? I'll even take it one step further. We all have issues and insecurities about ourselves. I do. However, let me tell you, When I took when I took a good look in the mirror, a full-fledged mirror, and I looked at myself completely naked, I could have pointed out every single flaw that I have on my body. I chose not to, because I started to look at myself for the way God saw me and who He says I am. And when I looked at myself through His eyes, I am a beautiful creature in Him. I am the woman of God that He says I am. I am a peculiar person, a royal priesthood, a chosen generation. And that's what I ask of you, to do the very same thing. Now, like I said, it's not going to be an overnight thing. It is not going to be microwavable. You really have to put some thought. You really have to take some time. And you really have to dig deep. Because like I stated, there's going to be some things in the back of your mind that you have blocked, that you have forgotten about. And it will answer so many questions as to why you are the way you are, why you do things the way you do, why you operate the way you operate. Because it stems on what has happened to you in your past. And when you are free from that thing, oh God, I can't tell you. I could testify. I love me more now at 37 than I ever have in my entire existence, because I'm confident in my own skin now. I am not fazed on who people say that I am, like I used to be. And most importantly, because God made me to be who I am, is the reason why I can present this to you. So my prayer as we depart is that you take a very long look at yourself, fast, pray, seek the Lord with all your heart and soul, and rest assured, by the time you come out of that self-analysis, you will be the better person. So as I always say in parting, it's not the quantity of what you do, but it is the quality of how you do it. May God bless you and keep you, and I will see you next time, right here on the S.I.M Factor. Bye-bye.